The main thing that pops out would be 9/11. 9/11 happened when I was in the 8th grade. I was in Mrs. Arthur's class. She's our social studies teacher, and she was old as the hills. And our English teacher came in the door, and she opened the door, didn't even knock, opened the door, and just said, "The towers have been hit," and then just closed the door and left. And our Mrs. Arthur was so mad at the English teacher for disrupting her class that she was so put off by that, and just continued to teach. And we were so confused. We're like, what just happened? So the next class that we had was my English teacher, and for the entire rest of the day, we just had the TV on, and we just watched the TV. And we watched the towers fall, and I just remember it being so quiet that I feel like we were old enough to know what was going on, and old enough to see the people jumping out of the building and knowing that they were dying, but not really old enough to know the reason why.
The threat of Russia with nuclear weapons was a very scary thing for all of us in the 80s. So I remember it was relief. And when the Berlin Wall fell, I just remember that was a very happy occasion, and that was covered very greatly on the news, and a lot of people were very happy about that as well. When Reagan was shot, I just remember coming home from school, and it was a big thing. I think I was in 8th grade. And I sat next to the radio and listened to everything about it, and that's all that was on. And it was really a big deal when he got shot.
Of course, the Kennedy assassination was one of the biggest that I can think of. I was in the 8th grade. I was in class. They announced it over the loudspeakers that the president had been shot. So, of course, after we got out of school that day, all you did was sit in front of the TV and watch everything unfold. And it was a time, though, the whole nation was in mourning. And it lasted a very long time.
People who I feel are influential in my life, they would all have to be family. I would say my dad, because he had to sacrifice so many things for us and me. He's just somebody who's work ethic that I've always valued. I have the same kind of personality as my dad, so I've always kind of respected him in knowing that. I feel like he understands me and the way I think and the way I function more than anybody else. And if I had to pick somebody who was my hero, he would be it. My mom, somebody who I look up to because she's so bubbly and awesome, and she would do anything for anybody, and she just gives with all of her heart, and I admire that. I would also have to say my grandma Linda and my great-grandma Margot. My grandma Linda is one of the strongest women that I've ever met in my life. Sorry. I would also say my grandma was someone that I admire greatly. She's the strongest person I know because she's fought cancer twice. She never once complained about it. She has this way about her, the way she just holds her head up, no matter anything. Just her confidence, the way she was so ashamed to wear that wig, and then as soon as she took it off and she had her bald head, she just held her head up high and just rocked it. She is so awesome. And I would say my Grandma Margot too. My Grandma Margot, she's my great Grandma Margot. I find her so influential. She is 86 years old, still runs marathons and 5Ks. She was so spunky and full of life, and I just hope that when I'm that age, I can strive to be that way.
Most influential people in my life are my mom and dad because they taught me hard work, loyalty, and family. And then my Grandma Margot. Watching how she dealt with my grandfather's death. Taught me strength.
I would say a lot of people made me who I am. Of course, my parents, you know, the way I was raised had a lot to do with what I became. When I got married, of course, combining two personalities and making a marriage work, that's plays a very big role in your life. I think my mother-in-law had a lot to do with a lot of the things that I've come to believe in and do, because we spent so much time together. We thought alike, we liked a lot of the same things, and she taught me a lot.